when you're in the message, you just can't do this. But when you can start to think clearly, you can start to ask yourself a question. Okay, William Branham told us all that we're pagans if we celebrate Christmas, but William Branham had a Christmas tree and presents and did it all, right? William Branham told us it's all a terrible sin if girls cut their hair, but William Branham's daughters cut their hair. He told us, all the girls need to dress modest, but all his daughters wore skirts above their knees.
Yeah.
There's photos that you'll have to, I've got a photo I guess I'm looking up here on the screen, John, and you'll have to put it up there for the people. But William Branham's family did not even follow the holiness rules, right? William Branham and his own son both wore shorts, right? William Branham and his family, the boys in his family wore shorts. Shorts are prohibited in the message. I have never owned a pair of shorts in my life, John. Okay? I still don't own a pair of shorts. Because you can't wear shorts in the message.
My father was playmates with Joseph Branham, my uncle with Billy Paul Branham, and the Branham family wore shorts. As children, they wore shorts a lot, and then even as adults, like if they went swimming or there were activities where they wore shorts. So I was raised, my family kind of separated from the main body for a period of time, and we lived out where there weren't really a lot of message people, and I had shorts until I was probably 13 or 14, and this was common because my peers who I visited with also message people who had shorts as children because the Branham family had shorts. Again, I'm in the cult elite side of this thing. William Branham himself wore shorts. I mean, it's that night and day difference from what the cult believes. So I had it basically, and then once I became an adult, I was that was also part of the cult elite. Don't wear them in public where other message believers can see that you're wearing them.
Do it in secret, right?
Right.
So William Branham and his sons wear shorts. William Branham, so here's another thing. So, beards, facial hair is totally taboo. But there's pictures of William Branham with this 1920s, 30s mobster style mustache.
Yeah.
You had to show that one. And then there's pictures of him with full beards too. What in the world, right? So how does he get away with all that? And then you can also find like I mentioned, pictures of his wife and his daughters with skirts above their knees, showing off way too much. You talk about a scandal skirt, John. Boy, they would, in the message, that's a scandal skirt. Scandal skirt. You can see their knees. I mean, in my part of the message, most people wouldn't even show their ankles. But they're showing their knees, and their hair is clearly been cut. I mean, my goodness. So here, what do you do with that? Because William Branham said, and this is word for word, you need to get a barrel slat and take a barrel slat to people who do these things, right? I don't think he was taking a barrel slat to his family, John, but that's what he told the people to do in his church.
It's a funny story. Now, I'm going to preface this with, I no longer think this way. This was wrong. Don't get me wrong by any means. This was horrific that I said this, but I did. Every year around Christmas time, see, again, we grew up kind of, from coast to coast. I'm influenced by all kinds of different message churches. And the ones that I grew up in did not know that it was wrong to have a beard. In the main body, in the main sect of the message, yes, it was wrong. You were not supposed to have a beard. But I didn't know this. I had no idea. And every year around Christmas time, I always grew a little beard, neatly trimmed, just a small beard. When my family moved back here, and when we moved to Jeffersonville, my aunt and uncle were up talking to me, and they were abhorred that I had facial hair. I mean, I could have smacked them in the face, and they would have been less surprised than seeing my beard. And so my aunt begins to tell me this story, how my husband, my uncle, had facial hair and he was growing a beard, and Brother Branham said that was wrong. So one night I woke up in the middle of the night while he was asleep, and I shaved his beard off while he was asleeping. And I looked at her straight in the eye and I said, and again, this is wrong. I looked her straight in the eye and I said, well, if my wife did that, I'd whoop her with a barrel slat.
Wow. We can kind of joke about it, but it's also incredibly serious, right? And so in my church, I witnessed this. I know firsthand everything I'm about to tell. So there was a particular man who came to church who came in with a beard, and he was, typical practice. The preacher at the platform let him have it, blasted him in front of, hundreds of people. He went home and shortly thereafter committed suicide, John.
Oh no.
And I always wonder, how much of the harassments that happen to these people contribute to things like that, right? And these things in the message, I know it is funny, to talk about the stories, but these things are carried out to the point that people die. People die in the message for not following these rules, right? Yeah. It's very, very serious, right? And so it's, I can laugh about a lot of the funny things, but then I also realize it is deadly in the message. These things become deadly in the message, and it's terrible. And who's to blame? Right. Who's to blame? Who's the one who came up with these ideas that you can't? Okay, so you take a beard, right? I think Jesus had a beard, didn't he, John? I mean, he certainly does up here in my Hoffman Head of Christ picture, the one that's hanging up in all the message churches. I mean, was Jesus a sinner? Like, what in the world? But it don't make any sense, right, when you think logically about it. But in the message, they will drive, they don't care what happens. They will do whatever it takes to harass you and bring you into compliance with the rules.
Yeah. It is a very serious thing, and I don't want to bring us down on our holiday cheer episode, but suicide is a big problem in the message. I have had friends who have died who have committed suicide. I have family who have committed suicide, and you can't specifically say that it was only the message that caused it. Mental health is a big problem. Mental health right. in the message is a big problem. What you can say is that this type of religion that just plays tug of war with your brain and is under authoritarian control accelerates the mental health problems. It makes it worse.
Right. They don't acknowledge mental health issues as actual health issues, right? No. You're possessed by a demon or something like that, and there's no concept that you need to go to a doctor and get some help. No, we need to beat the devil out of it.